If you like traveling, there are 5 different places you can go around the world which are not your typical beaches, your mountains, your cities, okay? These are 5 exceptional places where you can take your drone, you can take your GoPro, your bikes, whatever you like, and have a fantastic time, because these are out of this world. You'll have great fun visiting these places. Let's go. So the BBC has this fantastic article about 5 different places. The first of them is called Cenotes, which is in Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. Have you ever seen those sinkholes, those holes with the water in them and people just dive in there? Well, this is one of them. It's absolutely gorgeous. Cenotes are these big sinkholes in the ground filled with water. While they are now incredibly popular tourist attractions, their tale began over 2 million years ago. The Yucatan Peninsula, which covers parts of Mexico, Belize and Guatemala, is a porous platform mainly made of limestone. Over time, rain trickled through stone and dissolved it, forming large underground caves. Water from the rain and sea flooded in until the sea level dropped and the caves were left empty. Mineral deposits formed in these moist caves, creating stalagmites and stalactites. When the sea level rose, water flooded back in, eroded the caves more. Eventually the roofs collapsed, leaving behind the large cenotes we can see today. While we know how they came about, back in the day of the ancient Maya, these huge sinkholes were understandably very mysterious. They were viewed as entrances to the underworld, and they would leave offerings to the gods in the form of jewelry, pottery and sometimes even human sacrifices. Let's go to Fumaroles in Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, USA. Fumaroles are the Earth's ventilation shafts. They are pockets in the Earth's crust where steam and volcanic gases are released. Magma lying near the Earth's surface heats groundwater, which creates the steam, and the chemicals carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide are usually emitted directly from the magma. Fumaroles can sometimes turn into hot springs if water rises to the surface. One place in the world with lots of both is Yellowstone National Park in the USA. It's home to the Grand Prismatic Hot Spring, which is the 3rd largest in the world. Known for its incredible colors created by the chemicals released from the magma, it brings tourists from across the world. But caution is very much needed if you fancy a trip. Don't go for a dip. It sits on top of an active volcano. You might end up turning into a hot dog, so be careful. Let's move on to the 3rd one. Giant Causeway, County Antrim, Northern Ireland. These rocks have one legendary tale to tell. The official line is that the roughly 40,000 black basalt columns at the Northern Irish National Trust site were the result of volcanic activity as lava creeping down to the coast cooled when in contact with the sea millions of years ago. However, legend has it that the giant fin McCool, also known as Fionn McCumhill, guarded the local coastline. When threatened from across the sea by another giant called Benandona, not the doner kebab by the way, Finn fought back by throwing basalt rocks into the sea to create stepping stones, and marched over to Scotland to tell Benandone what's what. Unfortunately, Finn quickly realized that Ben was much larger than he was, so upon seeing the enemy giant towering towards him, Finn ran back home, but Ben followed. Finn was understandably worried, but his wife Ona had a plan. When Ben arrived, she introduced him to their baby, who was huge. Frightened at how big the father might be if the baby was that large, Ben swiftly turned on his heel and ran back home to Scotland. As he ran, he tore up as much of the bridge as he could, only leaving behind the columns as you see today. Next, let's go to Unisol Flats in Bolivia. The huge platform can be found in the area where the Andes Mountains range is at its widest. It's called the Altiplano. It's 11,999 feet or 3,656 meters above sea level and covers more than 10,000 square kilometers. Although there are some pretty big salt flats across the globe, For example, in Utah, USA, Bolivia's is the largest in the world. When there is not much wind, a thin layer of water on top of the vast expanse of white salt creates a huge mirror reflecting the sky. Must be a stunning sight. Salt flats form when large expanses of water evaporate very quickly. If bodies of water dry up faster than the rain can replenish them, salt and other minerals left behind will form solid layers. And ta-da! The best place to season your chippy tea in moderation is born. Lastly, stone forests Kunming, China. These can be found in lots of different places like Bulgaria, Madagascar and Malaysia. Arguably the most famous is the Kunming, China. These clusters of imposing razor-sharp monoliths look like something out of a fantasy novel, but scientists at New York University found that they form in actually quite a simple way. How did they work this out? By using sticks of rock, the sweet you get at the seaside. Stone forests form when rock is submerged by water and come to the surface when that water recedes. No one was quite sure why they eroded to be so sharp without complicated flows of water until one group of scientists decided to see what would happen if they put a stick of rock, which is cylindrical in shape, in a tank of water for a while. They found that rather than it becoming smaller but largely staying the same shape, it eventually became sharp and pointy. They worked out that this was happening because the sugar that initially dissolved made the surrounding water heavier, which sunk quickly and therefore eroded the sweet in that way. A similar process happened with the stone forest. There you have it. 5 different places to visit if you go around the world, which is not your typical beach. Let me know in the comments if you intend to go to these places or if you have been to these places. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on the video, and if you have any requests, let me know in the comment section. I'll get to it. Goodbye for now. Peace.